In this video, we're going to take a look at adding some movement to it. So I've updated the flowchart. Here it is now. We're going to be moving towards the player when we're in the engaged state. And when we're in the searching state, we're going to move towards the last known location that it saw the player in, right? Eventually, we're going to get into movement within the non-alert state as well, like a waypoint kind of system. But for now, let's do the easy one. So go ahead and open up your Unity project that you're working on before and open up your script. And luckily, all the way back in the first video of this series, we already grabbed a handle to the using Unity Engine.ai. We have a handle to our NavMesh agent component, and we've grabbed, or we have a reference to that component, and we've grabbed a handle to it actually here. A lot of our setup work is already done. We also have a variable here for target. Originally, it was a game object, but as we learned through that, it takes in a vector3. That's why we had to say target.transform.position. To save us some time, let's go ahead and change this game object to be a vector3. And we don't need to serialize the field anymore since we will be assigning this target through our script. So this target vector3 is going to change as we go along, right? So the target might be set to the current player, the target might be set to the last known destination, the target might be sent to a starting position that our NPC should go chill at. So this target is going to be variable. So let's make a couple other variables that we could set it to, right? We need a variable for our starting position. Again, later on, this is going to be updated to be a waypoint system, but let's make it so that when we're in the non-alert state, we kind of go back somewhere. We also need a variable for the last known player location, right? Since that's where we go to when we're in our searching state. We probably also want to get a handle to the player. So let's get a reference to a game object for the player, and then in start, assign player to the game object that's tagged player. Lastly, after we've done that, let's set our target equal to the starting position. Our starting position, how do we know where that is? Let's go ahead and go into Unity. So I'm going to drag my NPC somewhere I want him to start every time. So let's say it's here. And you got to make sure too that it's within the blue area. Otherwise, it will never be able to reach its starting point destination. And then right here in the transform component, the position that it's in, remember these numbers and we're going to add that in. Actually, hold up. Let's do that so we can serialize its field, right? Yeah, let's create a private vector3 and let's give it a name. I'm going to call it starting pose. Let's go ahead and serialize the field. And if once we've done that, if we hop back into Unity, we can just type in the numbers of where we want our NPC to start. So the starting position, I kind of want it to match this. So I'm going to say negative 4.65. On the Y, it'll be 1.8. And on the Z, it'll be negative 4.4. Okay, so we have a starting position. Let's set our target equal to the starting position. But as of right now, there is nothing that is telling our NPC to go to that. There's no this thing, this agent.setDestination. That's not being called anywhere. We also need a last known player location, which will probably also be a vector3 since we want to set our target to that. So let's go ahead and make a private vector3, and I'm going to call that last known location. And I suppose while we're here, let's go ahead and fill this in as well. We also want a reference game object for our player. So let's say once more a private game object, and I'm going to call this underscore player. Okay, so these are all the variables that we need, right? So we need to assign the game object, right? So we're going to take the player variable that we just made, and we're going to set that equal to gameObject.find, I think .find game object with tag is one. Here we go in the tooltip, find game object with tag, and it takes in a string of the tag. Well, the tag we're looking for is the player. And there's only one thing tagged player right now, so this should be okay. And of course, let's null check. Open up your curly brackets and throw a debug.log error. Player is null. Okay, when we're in our non-alert state, so instead of this debug.log, what is our target? Like, where does our NPC want to go? I think that's going to be our starting position, right? And then later on, maybe we'll do a waypoint system. And it's not enough to just set the target. We also have to set the agent agent.setDestination, and we can set that to the target. In the engaged state, our target is the player, right? So in our engaged state, we're going to set our target equal to our player.transform.position. The other thing that I think we're going to want to do in the engaged state is we need to continually update where our last known location is as well. So not only does the target equals the player transform position, but the last known location also equals the player's transform position. And this makes sense to me since as long as we're engaged with the player, we know where they are. And as soon as we leave that state, we'll stop updating their known location. All right, last thing is this line right here, agent.setDestination to the target. Cool. And I'm going to get rid of that old coroutine. Okay, our engaged state is done. So for our searching, instead of this debug.log, we're going to set our target equal to the last known location, right? This is the last place we saw them, so that makes sense to be where our NPC will search. There we go. And lastly, the agent set destination to the target. Now, okay, so I was doing some testing outside of this, and the searching cooldown routine, this is just something I noticed too, is that it's not enough to just check if the player is not in range, right? You also want to be checking if we're still searching, because there is a scenario in which you could engage the NPC, go into the searching routine, engage it again, and then leave their trigger. So in that scenario, the NPC is engaged, and this would still be calling it to not alert. So if you got some weird behaviors, that is totally why. It's very easy to add another conditional to this to make it so that we only switch to not alert, not only if the player left our trigger zone, but also if we were at the time still searching. So the last thing would be and current state equals the NPC behaviors.searching. Yeah. Whew, okay, this was a lot. The main thing that we did was add this code into our update loop. We fixed a little bit of a bug down in the searching cooldown routine. Let's just test it. Okay, so our NPC was already at their starting location, so I don't know if that part worked, but let me go ahead and trigger them. Okay, he's running towards me, and I have to stay out of his zone for 5 seconds to be able for him to search. Okay, he's searching. He went to the last known location. I'm no longer there, and now he's going back to his starting location. Perfect. Okay, awesome. This is totally working. So just to give you it one more time, here is the script slowly from top to bottom, just in case there was anything that you missed. Here, I'm also going to delete this little comment there. Cool. There's definitely a lot of stuff that we can optimize with this. Really looking forward to that. I think the next thing that we should tackle is the non-alert state. Our NPC is only in one starting position, and we probably want our NPC to have different ways to be not alert, whether they're talking to other NPCs or walking between waypoints or just standing guard somewhere. We want that flexibility. So I think we're going to start to build that system. Okay, see you in the next one where we're going to take a look at a waypoint system.